Welcome, everybody.
Hey.
We have a special show today. Everyone scream. Everyone get the nerves out. Scream. Okay, so here's I see Sarah in the background, but I can't get her connected. All right, Sarah, we see you back there, or I see you. Hopefully you can come in. What we have today is a bunch of my students from the CGMA masterclass, and everybody here has been obsessing over their own graphic novel or comic. And we decided at the end of the class that we would do a 6-month reunion party where they could show off their work. And it was really just going to be to me, but I was like, hey, why don't you show it off to my audience? And then and also make sure to have websites and links so that people can follow you guys. So that was the assignment. No. So anyway, so welcome everybody. We got Gwendolyn, we got John, we got Studio Hannah and Susan. So we're waiting for Sarah in the background. If she can join, hopefully she can. And so who wants to start? Who wants to share your project you've been working on for the last 6 months? Anyone?
Nose goes.
John.
John. Okay, I'll share.
John, all right. Jon Gum.
Wow.
Oh boy.
So John, we're going to give you the mic. So feel free to pitch your project to the world and show off some of your art and show off what you're doing.
All right. My name is Jon Gum, and I've been working on a comic called Carpenter. It's about this vampire who has she's fought in World War II, and because vampires don't age or die, basically, she is just trying to figure out where she belongs in the modern world. So here I have some pages for you. I don't know how fast I should be going through these. But yeah, it's a 142-page graphic novel, and I finished the inks and I'm working on the colors. This one actually was done by a colorist that I found on Jason's stream named Helen Swarma. So she helped me out. She did 40 pages and I am left to do 140. I'm left to do 100 pages left. So, but I'm actually getting through it pretty quickly. So yeah, this is what I'm working on.
That's cool. And so tell everyone how you're making. You're doing it on the iPad?
Yes, it's all on the iPad. Everything is on the iPad, and it's getting to the point where there is over like 50 to 60 layers. And so it's starting to slow down. So,
are you the old iPad?
Yeah. The 2017 model. So, it's about time for an upgrade.
That's cool. Oh, wow,
like
look at the
colors.
vibrancy of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see Sarah in here. Can you hear us, Sarah?
I can. Can you hear
Yay!
me?
Hey.
All right.
Yay!
I managed to get it to work. All right, live stream over. Done.
Check. Sarah, if you want to email me some of your pages that you want to show off.
Okay, cool. Yeah, can do.
She totally does.
For you. Okay. Okay, John. So tell us a little bit about tell us more. Let's see if there's any questions in the comments.
Okay. Yeah.
We got Nicholas says, "Wow, that looks really good." So, so where can they find Carpenter when it's available? How would people be able to follow you?
Well, you will be able to follow me on a lot of different sites. There's this thing. There's this place called Tapas, Webtoon, Instagram, and I just created a Reddit. I can post it in the chat, I think. They can follow specifically Carpenter.
Okay. So you already have them on Instagram, not Instagram, on Webtoons and stuff?
Not yet. Once I'm done coloring it, I'm gonna start lettering it, and then I feel like I can release it as I letter it, and that'll be available October 10th.
Got it. So
Okay.
are you already a member on Webtoon so people can follow your profile? I don't know if that is how it
Oh.
works.
I
I'm just saying because you're saying
Yeah.
you can find it on Webtoon, but I don't want people to go there and
Mhm.
not know where to find it. So, is there another way that they can, like, do you have an Instagram?
Yeah, yeah,
Twitter page that you could give people?
yeah. It'll probably have to be through Instagram actually, because
Instagram. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah, I'm posting those in the private chat. Hold on. Do I have to?
Private chat. Oh, let me grab those and throw them into the real chat. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Here is Jon Gum's Instagram. Oh man, radio silence. And you have it on Reddit, you said?
Yes. Yeah.
How does that work? Do you just post a page as a Reddit post?
Yeah. Yeah. And like you'll get. I don't think Reddit shrinks images, so you should be able to get like the full 11 by 17 image, like
Okay,
however you're reading it. It won't dip in quality.
that's cool. Okay,
Yeah,
Reddit.
yeah.
So that Reddit's probably a good link to go see what Jon is working on. I posted that in the comments too.
Jon, I'm sorry, really quick.
Yeah.
Jon, that last page that you were just on.
Oh, this
That
one.
one?
Yes.
Yeah, I really like that last panel that's on the right where she's,
Yeah, she's
comes
crouching.
down, and it's the camera angle and all that's really good. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like the fire, how it like
Uh-huh.
comes up on
And
her
her
leg
cl-
like that.
And
Yeah.
her claws, yeah. that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
It looks like there is a question in the chat from Brooke.
Brooke Dennis. Hey. That's my friend.
Right here. How did you come up with the concept? If you would like to talk about it, says ask Dennis to Jon.
Okay, so man, the concept.
Keep scrolling through pages too while you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Multitask. The worst I'm the worst multitasker. I'm not telling you to do it.
You're asking for so much, Jason.
Oh man, I've got cottonmouth right now.
I know. We're like a deer in the headlight,
Yeah. So I actually came up with the character first, and that happened back in 2015. And I didn't think about doing a comic for a long time until one of my friends was like, hey, I'm starting this comic universe with a bunch of superheroes. And I was like, oh, hey, I have a character. And it wasn't until later that we decided to like split off, because I'm like, oh, you're way too ambitious. He like wants to be like the next Walt Disney, he tells me. So I'm just like, no, no, I just want to put out a comic and you just have a beginning, middle, and end. And I feel that I don't know. There's been a lot of influence in Carpenter's story and how she came about. Like The Watchmen is a big influence. Captain America, Batman, Superman, all those kind of characters. And I kind of looked at vampires, and vampires are kind of like already like superheroes. It's just that, because, they have super speed, they have flight. They are basically invulnerable. And I just put those horror concepts into a superhero setting. So that's how she came about.
That's cool, man. Very cool. Anyone else in among you guys? Do you want to talk to Jon or critique? Not critique. You want to praise any of the things that he's done? This isn't an official class. We're not going to critique. No.
But
That handle of her just batting the grenade out of the air is
Yeah, it's great. I love that. I concur, Hannah.
it is but a fly.
So John, I'm looking at your panels in the context of the conversation we had back in Jason's class about the use of color, right? And
Yes.
how different colors really affect a different mood. And you've really pulled that off really well, or you with your, colorist colleague, but then you're kind of picking that up and taking it through the ones that you're doing. The other thing is you get the prize, I think, for probably coming closest to meeting what was the plan you put forward to yourself at the end of class.
Thank
you. Go you and your productivity.
Well, there's a funny story behind that. I got fired from my day job. So
this is your day job, is what you're saying?
Yeah, so I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna work on Carpenter 24/7.
It's constructive. That's good.
At the beginning, but I can't believe how much you've got done. You've just been an absolute machine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I really like is I really like how you have a lot of, especially with Carpenter, you have a lot of very iconic poses and just camera angles. Like she comes across as very powerful, very it's really nice because when you're looking, it's very, who she is, the silhouette's great and everything else, but I mean, she's just like, those poses are really great. That is a fabulous spread right there. I really love that spread.
Oh my God,
the colors. It just, I don't know what they're saying back and forth, but it's got a lot of energy there. It's nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
And also how the colors portray light reflection.
I particularly like this panel right here, how it's
I
had to look up so much reference for this shot. I was just like, I have no idea how to light her face.
Yeah.
But
it came out beautifully.
Thank you.
Yeah, it came out really good. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one thing that I did want to mention in regards to the colors that I've been working on. Like you can see there's like this blue wash here, and then we switch over to this other scene. I mentioned this in like one of my Instagram posts, but we switch over to this other scene where it's like very warm, and then they get the call that something's going down in a warehouse, and as we transition from this scene, we see like they are leaving this warm setting to go into this blue, and we follow that theme like over here.
That's cool.
It's a good transition.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I love that fisheye lens effect that you had in one of the panels in the warehouse.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
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 So I can...
Yeah, especially with it.
That's nice because it feels like a camera movement, like you're panning down.
And I like it juxtaposed to the other panel too next to it. I'm sorry, Jason, go ahead.
No, I was.
Yeah. Sorry. Go for it.
I'm not saying anything. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah. I just hope that this isn't too violent for your channel. Like, there's a lot of blood. So.
I don't. I looked at my stats, and there's like no one under 18 on this channel practically. So at least in the stats. I'm sure there's some kid logging in with his parents' computer. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, like,
or
I saw...
just making a fake birthday.
Yeah. I saw the the stream with Alejandro Maribal, like, and there's like this fish monster gutting this old lady. So I was like, I can show this. I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the most extreme of everything.
Yeah.
His art's beautiful though.
Yeah.
Well, this is cool. Well, I want to make sure that if one of you has to leave early, that you could go next. So if you can all hang out, then we'll keep going randomly. But is there any of you that need to leave? You all good?
Nicholas had a question.
Yeah, I think I'm.
You're all good? Okay, so we'll just keep going. Nicholas says, do you plan on doing a physical release down the road? Because I would like to buy this.
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Deep breath, Ron. Deep breath.
You just made John's dreams come true.
Oh. He's still my beating heart. Oh my goodness. I'm a nobody.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm feeling a little lightheaded.
There.
Yeah. The plan is after I release this online for free, and I build an audience that I will hopefully ask that audience to help me crowdfund this huge graphic novel. So Bronwyn, oh my gosh, Bronwyn, hey. We haven't spoken in such a long time. Yeah.
This is like a prom date.
Right. Yeah, it really is. It really is. I've been working on this comic for a long time.
Cool.
Wow.
Like coming out.
Yeah. More emotional. It's good stuff, man. Well, John, I'm really impressed with the amount of work you've done. So, and
thank you.
You know, I can't wait to see this comic out too.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Love your sketches.
All right. Let's focus on someone else, please.
All right.
Good job, John. Oh, that's so great. You did that.
So you guys
find virtual hug.
Virtual hug.
Virtual hug. Social distance hugging.
Make sure to go to
exactly.
Go to reddit.com and Carpenter Comic. That's probably the best way to find updates of Carpenter right now. Okay, so who's next? Who wants to go? Anyone? Going once?
I can go if no one else wants to volunteer.
Hannah.
There it is. All right, Hannah, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I'm just going to zoom into here and kind of casually scroll through these. I have random text kind of throughout, but I have not started that stage of the story yet. So we're mostly going to see lots of images. But so this is my comic, Lamp Black, and it's about a young woman named Penny who has just graduated from college and is sort of trying to figure out how to transition from being a kid to being an adult. She's also dealing with the grief after the death of her brother, and is just kind of having a hard time of things. But she's walking home one night, and she's sort of attacked and then inhabited by this symbiotic creature that starts wreaking even more havoc on her life, but at the same time might hold some answers to how to heal and maybe even to the mystery of what happened to her brother. So it's a little bit of a superhero story, but its focus is more on I think more relatable things, because this is something that I came up with when I was, just graduated from college and was trying to figure out how to be an adult, and was working on like, how do I deal with mental health stuff? How do I deal with making friends in a new town? How do I deal with all of these things that are going on? So this is by no means autobiographical, but but it is inspired by some real life thoughts and feelings and things that I had around this time of my life.
That's cool. I love the blacks with the soft style, and the textures. I think. Can you zoom in to some of those panels to see the textures?
Yeah, I can. I think this last page is probably good for textures and things, if it'll let me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Holy cow!
I don't think it wants me to.
Nice.
That looks great, honey.
Yeah, I really also love the design of the whole of the spread that you have. It's like from the light to the dark, like how it punctuates. It's like even if you take the images out, it's like, I mean, if it's an abstract, it still is it's such an interesting composition too. So that looks really nice together. I really like that.
Thanks.
Man.
Cool how borderless it is as well. It's
really and something I didn't know if I wanted to do or not at the beginning was removing the panel lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I sort of turned them off on a page by accident and liked the way that this rough edge looked.
Yeah, because it looks different than what we were looking at. In the box. I think Sarah, did you have a comment? Your voice is really low, so I don't know if we heard.
Oh, I said if you did it by accident, then it was a happy accident to turn off the lines. And
Oh yeah,
I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really looks good.
Anna, this is great.
I have
Yeah.
found on certain pages, especially farther on when I'm no longer in a nighttime scene, it's a little bit more of a challenge because I don't have that dark nighttime scene contrasting against the white background of the page as much. And so getting the panels to be clear is a little bit more difficult. Like
Yeah,
if I just go to, I don't know, like this page, I struggled with a little bit because I didn't know how to make it clear that these are separate panels, and it works, but it was just a little bit more of a
the expressions
mental
and the poses
gymnastics,
are
I guess, figuring it out.
fantastic.
Yeah, they really
I
are.
really like it without the lines for the panels. It really adds, because the black and your lines are so crisp and that black is so dark that it just gives that, it's like what Jason said, that softness to it, that just it's a really nice balance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just also
They're
gives
so insane. They're
and it looks, unique in some ways, and I like it. And I watched, I think, one of the live streams of Jason's last week, maybe the premiere one, Hannah, where you were on and you were like working on fixing your faces and making the expressions great. So it was kind of fun to see the behind the scenes, getting the expressions just right.
Yeah.
That's a good comment from Steel Pen Fiddler.
Pen Fiddler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many pages do you have done now, Hannah?
Currently, I have, I think 30. I just hit 30.
Wow.
Which means that since we started this, I've done, I guess, a page a week on average. Usually it happens, though, that I do like 2 or 3 spreads in a week. And I'm like, I'm on fire. I got this. I'm doing so much work. I'm going to keep this up, right? And then something happens, and I can't keep up that level of work for a few weeks. And then I jump back into it again. There's I work full time and I have a lot of other things to do. So on one hand, I'm like, I only have 30 pages done. That's not very many pages. And then on the other hand, I'm like, no, I'm proud of what I've done though, with the time that I have and the resources that I have, that I've gotten 30 pages into my comic. That's more than I've done before. It's more than a lot of people have done. So I'm happy about that.
I think you should be really proud of this. I think it's beautiful, and I think it's going to be an easy thing for you to sell.
I hope so. I love the story, and I'm glad that I've continuously loved the story as I've kept working on it. So I'm excited for it to be in a form that other people can experience it too.
Yeah. And the story that you didn't really go into is really fun. So, I mean, it looks fun already without even knowing where it goes. And so I think you're on a good path. Please keep coming on my live stream and showing it off as you do it.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
All right. Well, anything else you guys want to ask Hannah, or anybody in the comments want to ask her anything, or anything? Critiques, comments? Leave the critiques to a minimum.
I was actually gonna. We just pulled up this. I don't know what to call it, like the comic grid, the margins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was gonna ask, do you work on a bigger scale, or do you work on the scale that we see here? Like, do you shrink it down?
This is based off of what you would do if you were using like traditional comic pages, and those are done at 11 by 17 inches.
Yeah.
And then shrunk down. They become like a third of the size. So I'm using a standard American comic book size. And that is what this is. So this is an actual one that I can zoom into. If you zoom in, it doesn't pixelate for a while. So it's pretty high quality.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're getting down to tiny bits now, and now it's starting to pixelate. But I do that mostly because I think that's just what I'm used to doing. I probably could work a little bit smaller because it's digital, but it works for me. It does limit that. So I'm working on creating an iPad, and it does make the number of layers that I can use more limited. But the way that I work, that kind of works because I have very specific layers for, like, I have my sketch layer, which eventually gets deleted anyway, so I don't need it. My inks layer, my texture layer, maybe a couple of layers for special effects or for things that I want to be able to modify later and if I'm not sure about them. But, you know, I probably use fewer than 10 layers on every spread that I do.
Yeah, I wanted to ask how large your canvas was because I don't know if you have this problem, but when it comes to the clutter that we discussed in class and stuff, having such a huge canvas, sometimes you're like, oh, I need to detail and put like the branding and stuff on this box of Cheetos that's off to the side. And then you zoom out to when you'll be posting it and it's like, and you're like, oh, well.
Yeah, and finding the balance between pages and panels that have like nothing except for a character expression, and then panels that have tons of things happening in the background has been really interesting because I was about to say I don't like drawing backgrounds, but I feel like the more backgrounds I draw, the more I kind of am enjoying it because the environment starts coming out, and I feel like the characters, when they're
you start getting into the groove of it,
and reactions, like they're in a place. It's not just them floating.
So Hannah, can you go to page the spread 1617?
1617?
Yeah, it's really black. That I want to see that because I feel like there's a big is that when the symbiotic?
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
Look at that.
So I when you're talking about environments right there, I was just like, that to me creates such an environment, and yet look at that is so simple. Yet that is so, but it's really it really creates, like when the tentacles, it takes a minute to like see it as it's going into her face on that top, you know.
It's also oh sorry.
No, go ahead. Hannah, please.
I was gonna say it's also a really satisfying page turn, like when you turn the page from before this one and then you turn it to see this, it's a really satisfying page turn.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, Hannah, so people can go to studiohana.com. You have it right there on screen. Can they subscribe to your mailing list? Will you let them know when they can?
Yeah, I do. I have a mailing list that you can get to through my website. I don't do it very often because I'm really bad at mailing lists, but I do want that to start being my like first drop whenever something exciting happens. Like my mailing list, people get it. I'm also at Studio Hana Art on Instagram, and I have a YouTube channel also that's just Studio Hana without the art at the end. But
all right. And what's your time frame? When do you expect to have something that you can show the world in that first issue or book or volume?
So my current plan, which is subject to changing, so don't hold me to this, but is to finish up the scene that I'm currently on, because that finishes the first chapter. And my chapters are a little bit longer, I think, than I was planning on having them at first. But I think I have maybe 6 pages left, and then I'm going to start finishing them up with the dialogue and the sound effects and things. And I would like to, at that point, start putting it up online, probably on Webtoons, and doing short seasons for the chapters maybe. But there's also a small
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's not just me.
No.
everything.
You're back.
Hey,
Okay,
there we go.
Good. Just rewind.
But my friend wanted to do a little pop-up kind of thing in November, and I think that's actually a good benchmark for me to finish that, because I would love to get like an issue printed out, just a really short run.
Oh, that's so cool.
This is my first chapter. Hey guys, now you can have it in print form if you want it, sort of a thing. And I think that's a fairly realistic deadline for me at this point. So,
have you thought about doing that first chapter as a very little Kickstarter for just maybe a couple $100 goal, just to kind of, you can do print on demand, just get some.
I probably should do something like that. Kickstarter scares me though. I've never done one.
That's why you start small, and I think you'd do good. It's also a good marketing tool too, so that's why.
True.
Yeah. Well, this is beautiful, Hannah. I really love what you're doing, and I can't wait to see your book, and I will definitely be a buyer and a backer of it for sure. So, all right. Well, unless anyone else wants to add anything to this, we'll move on to the next lucky contestant.
Next victim.
Who wants to be next? Thank you, Hannah, for pitching that to us.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey, there we go.
Such a cheesy stream.
I know.
Okay.
Of course. What did you expect?
It's on brand. It's on brand.
The CGMA class.
All right, let's do one of the ones that I have. Hannah, do you want to go, or Gwendolyn, do you want to go next?
Either way, unless of Hannah, if you want to go, you're cool. If not, I'll go. I'm. It's good.
I'll go, I guess.
All right, let me get my screen.
You got it.
Oh, wait, no, this.
You do this like.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, there's the void.
This is your comic.
Oh, infinity.
Of.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see the stream while I'm showing this, I guess. So here we are.
Good.
Okay, I don't know. Panic. Okay,
No.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and the comic that I've been working on is called These Wandering Doors, and it is about a freshman college student who is moving to a new house because it's closer to where her art college is, and she's used to being the only the town artist. Like, no one else in her high school is all that into it, so she's like the artist in her little hometown. So when she starts going to this art college, suddenly she's gone from being the biggest fish in the pond to the smallest fish in the sea, and starts to develop depression, anxiety, and this shift in her mental state and her emotional state basically awakens and attracts the attention of a opportunistic predator that lurks in the woods behind her house. It's kind of a supernatural horror slice of life kind of comic, and how she goes about adjusting and dealing with both her own struggles and also this thing that she's just woken up.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you have? Can you?
I do.
Scroll some pages. So this is online right now.
Yes, it's updating. I'm trying to update it once a month, but I did wind up catching the big bad virus in July. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I lost the entire month of July, so I'm behind because it's my own scheduling. But the website is up. You can find it at thesewanderingdoors.com. And it has this start reading button, which will take you to the first page. It has about, which is about the comic, the comics archive, the characters that have currently been introduced. Only one's missing because I'm still playing catch up a bit. Contact me. Extras, stuff that I've done that is not directly in the comic, like random character portraits, and also the playlist that I have for the comic, a bunch of songs that inspire me and are also relevant to the story. And then links, which are basically links that you can use to share my comic, and then other comics that I like are also linked there.
That sounds great.
Thank you. So if you
website.
It takes you to the first page any day now. So here's page 1, and the navigation, first, previous, chapter start, archive, next, and I'm scrolling past the actual page because I'm going to show that in Clip Studio. A comment area, and then further navigation throughout the website and stuff.
Oh wow, you could comment on it too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Thank you.
That's
Okay, so here are the
comics.
Yeah.
John, it's funny to hear you say that because it just shows how young you are. Because
oh god,
you know, it's that's how
we done dated
it used to
ourselves.
be. Now they're not that way anymore as much, but
Yeah. I remember like a bunch of, I used to read a lot of like web comics like VG Cats and Control Alt Delete, all these like weird comics that you weren't allowed to comment. You just looked at it and that was it.
yeah. Well, cool. Okay, go ahead, Hannah.
I'm trying. I'm having some difficulty with.
Well, while we're waiting for the difficulties to resolve, but it's really cool to see that panel colored because I remember that was lined. That when at the end of the class. Yeah. So it's really nice to see it like with all the color and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the final prologue, page 1. And then
wait, I don't
2.
think
We're not seeing what you're.
Oh no, it's not showing up.
We just see your website.
Yeah, we're looking at the website right now.
Why does it hate me? Oh, what if I do? Does this help?
Oh, now I see white.
You know what? You're probably sharing screen, and then you were focusing on a window.
Oh, okay. One moment.
I'll remove you until I see it. That way you don't dox yourself.
Apologies.
Really, the classes were so seamless.
As soon as we go,
there wasn't there was It's,
how about now?
I think it's still okay. There we go. Yeah, now we got it.
Okay.
Okay, can you see page 1 of prologue?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Page 2.
There we go.
Oh, the colors are gorgeous.
Oh, that eye that's open, like what?
Oh, wow. I still remember seeing the line work for these, Hannah. It's just, it's transformative.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that
hand.
hand.
That's good.
There we go.
That's a good page. I like that.
That is.
Yeah.
And I love how the hair from above is starting to creep in. That's really your reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy. Wow. Oh my god. I love how
it took me a second to see what was going on in the shadows, and when I did, I was like, oh, no.
Right? I know. Me too. You did that beautifully. Oh my god, Hannah, that came out so
that's
good.
exactly what I wanted, was it not fully clicking yet, and then when you see it, you're
like yeah. Oh, and I love that movement you have with the body, because it's like that bend and that angle just isn't quite right. Oh, that's great.
It's definitely a page that you have to spend a lot of time looking at and just like absorbing it,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh, that's nice.
That's neat.
Ooh.
That's really nice. That's a
really
really
cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Oh,
that's great.
And then I do have, let's see, some of chapter 1 done. I was hoping to have had more, but again, oh well.
No.
Yeah, let's see them if you don't mind. If you don't mind showing them.
Not at all. Just gotta load them up. Where did it go? Oh, it probably opened in the other window. God damn. Yeah, it did. Oh, wait. No, it didn't. Yes, it did. Okay. Can you see that
clip?
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's.
Wow.
Oh, I love the bright. Oh, and there's the bird on the. Oh, that's nice.
Hey.
Yeah, those colors are really neat.
Thank you.
Vibrant wood.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really subtle writing all the way down the wall?
Yeah. It's it's actually a bunch of lyrics.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Oh, now I want to know what it says.
Go to thesewonderingdoors.com to find out.
Maybe you'll be able to
Well
decide.
timed.
That was perfect.
Cars are not fun to draw.
No, they're really not. And you did a good job on that.
Yeah.
You did a good job on that.
Thank you.
Speaking of cars,
I was about to say I can hear a car somewhere.
I think that might be coming from
That-
here.
your soundtrack, that's part of your soundtrack.
Oh,
You
no.
know.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you didn't have any of these even sketched out
Mm-mm.
during the class.
Yeah. Yeah, the ambient light is really nice on that. I like how it captures a loneliness too. At least to me, that's how I take it. When her sitting
Perfect.
with all the boxes.
Oh, look at that expression. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really nice. Good job. You've made a lot of progress.
Mhm.
And you got a website and everything.
Yeah.
You can make comments on.
So if you get a grade, you get an A+.
Dab.
Cheesiest stream ever.
I'm here. It's a guarantee.
Mm. Oh, it's a raven. I love them.
She watches.
That's cool. Now, what's your plan for long term? How are you going to just keep putting these pages out for the next year or two? Do you have a for the book?
Yeah, like my since I have a job, a full-time job and all that jazz. My goal right now is I'm trying to do these in bundles of updates.
Mhm.
So like all these pages of chapter 1 I released in one update. So I think that's 7-ish pages. And so my next update is also going to be 7-ish pages. And I'm trying to go on a once a month kind of schedule, like maybe the middle of every month, because I released it on June 20th, specifically because it was the summer solstice. And I'm trying to kind of stay on like around the 20th being my update times.
Yeah.
But it's very dictated by how life kind of continues to go. But my goal is once a month, every month. And I don't really know yet how long every chapter is going to be page wise, because I'm kind of doing it in a sense that I have my outline, but I'm where did I? Is it over there? Yeah. Hang on. What I'm doing is when I have the next update, like from what story beat I'm going to the next story beat, I write out the dialogue. Oh, can you guys still see me?
Here, let me get you solo. It's all you now. It's all you.
It's all you.
Oh, it's me? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, so once I get my next update figured out, I write all the dialogue that I'm going to have in the update, and I try to split it up by like pages, and then I thumbnail the pages on these little sticky notes. Ooh. And put little numbers. You probably can't see it, but there's like a number there, 5, and then that corresponds to the number 5 here. And I just work off.
That's kind of what I do too. It's interesting seeing someone else do that.
It's so helpful. So
Yeah.
basically it means that I don't have a set number of pages until I have the story beat updates. It's the story beats written out, and I disperse the dialogue into the panels and then panel it. And then I'm like, oh, I wound up with 8 pages this time. So then my next update is going to be 8 pages.
Okay, so the 7 or 8 pages is just kind of whatever it is to get that next beat. That's kind of a break section. It's really interesting. You know, I see a lot of people blending that sort of analog support work for them when they're producing as a digital comic.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't let's see, I would like to get this eventually. I'm totally blanking on the word. Kickstarted, crowdfunded in volumes, I guess, because it's going to be a very long story. I don't know how long I'm going to be working on it, but that's cool. It's fine. Yeah. I love it. I'm really excited about it, and I'm very excited to get to a very specific character that I can't talk about due to spoilers. But I'm really excited for her design. To give you an idea of what she looks like, she is basically a decaying elephant-sized deer.
Oh my!
Wow.
Yeah, and she's covered in fungus, and the insides of her eyes are basically made up of bioluminescent fungus, so they glow.
Wow.
I think about your long form comic, Hannah. I mean, how much I think I personally, and I bet others in the group here, have been inspired by, you know, Jason's commitment to that long form. And if it takes years, it takes, right?
That's what I love about it. I love long form things. Whenever I end up writing something, I'm like, it's gonna be a couple thousand words, and then suddenly 50,000 words later, I'm like,
I just finished the intro.
yeah. That's how I felt when we were going through the prologue pages. Not quite clickers from The Last of Us. I do love fungus though, so those games are right up my alley in horror and also fungus kind of thing. But no, she's mostly decaying flesh, bone, bits of bark, and then has just natural looking, like you'd see on a tree or something, fungal growth here and there. And then her eyes, it's kind of places where her pupils would go, since she doesn't have actual eyes. The fungus in her eye sockets act as like, oh, she's looking down there, now she's looking up there, now she's over there, kind of thing.
That's great. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
I can't wait to draw it.
All right. Well, everyone head on over to thesewonderingdoors.com and subscribe and send some love Hannah's way in the comments. And yeah, support her as she's making this long form comic in her free time.
And also, just since I didn't mention it yet, it does have an Instagram account by the same name, These Wandering Doors, These Wandering Doors in Instagram, and that's where I would post the updates, so you know when it updates.
Oh, good. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you, Hannah, for sharing this all this work with us. And I'm really impressed with all the stuff you've done, from the website to pages, and you're just keeping at it. So that's all. That's what it takes. Anyone next want to go desperately? Gwendolyn, okay.
We can just, let's just get it over with.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
No, it's not. No, I'm very happy. Thank you for inviting us, and thank you for.
Yeah, seriously, thank you. We're nervous, but this is fun.
Yeah, we can start that way, and then do the color probably last, just because I would say, sorry.
Let's see. I don't know if there's an easy way for me to do this. So I'm controlling this. That's why I'm stumbling around. Yeah. There we go. So this is the title page.
Sort of. Yeah. Right now, I'm this is what I like. I like the aesthetic. And everything is value right now. Since I'm not quite at the color point, and because I've thumbnailed the first chapter. So I should probably start with my name. Gwendolyn. My comic is called Thrown Away, and it is a visual story in 5 chapters, and I have the first chapter fully thumbnailed, and I've started doing refined drawings on it. And that first chapter is, if these are spreads, it would be about 100 pages. However, if I did this landscape as a landscape book, each one of these would be perfect landscape size, as all the girls told me, and they were like, it would be really nice as a landscape. And if that's the case, then it'll be around 55 pages for that first chapter.
Yeah.
So this is the beginning.
Do you want me to just scroll through these randomly as you're talking?
Sure. Yeah. So please do.
Okay.
So the whole concept. So the whole thing begins. So it's about a fighter, a child that's in danger, and the fate of their world hanging in a balance with them. I really, when I started this, I was asking questions about loyalty, family, and sacrifice, and what they mean when society's burning sort of around you. And I sort of came up with the story. So these panels that you're looking at right now, so at the very beginning is 2 kids, not the main characters or anything like that, but they're the intro, sort of like leading you in. And there's an urban legend in this world about the witch that lives in the woods and the devils that are sort of her minions. And this is a place that there's been a lot of trauma that's happened. This is actually supposed to be in, I don't know if it would be Chicago, but altered Chicago, where there's been a lot of, it now is a city state. It's part of the Great Lakes Alliance. Anyways, things have changed. And so there's a lot of immigrants to this city that are basically, they're just workers, and they're not allowed into the city. And there are these giant encampments, and this is the beginning, starts in one of those encampments with some of the kids. And there's a lot of things going on in this world that it's a hard place for kids. It's just hard, period. And so that's what this gets into. So my tagline would be about that. Against her instincts, a fighter saves a thrown away child from death, only to discover this child could be the end of the family that she's come to know. And I'm reading this right now. And everything she holds dear. So it's a big story.
Cool.
Yeah.
Say that tagline again. The child that she saves could be the end of her family. Is that how?
It could be the end of everything she holds dear.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the whole thing. So you have, that's who's this child? What makes them so threatening? And so this is the very beginning. Again, these are all still rough. This is just me starting to get my panels together, and that's.
We're just starting to get them together. They still look really good.
Yeah, I love your world building. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And so the last panel that is going to be, that's the protagonist right there, who they've sort of stumble in on, it's so funny when Jason invited us. There's several of us that we do these weekly meetings, or bi-weekly meetings, and I put a bunch of options out there for what should I really spend time developing for this. And this is the beginning. This is sort of the candy in it, because this chapter gets really dark. But the one I wanted to do, that Sarah was like, "Oh, you should do that one," because that people would know what they're in for. It gets pretty dark. So this is actually the happy part. The happy-go-lucky.
I love this
Are those
spread right
guys
here.
like?
I
Are
love how
those like the bad guys chasing things? Are they based off shark teeth? I saw one of their jackets.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, there no, there's this whole thing about there's these gangs, and they're sort of low level. These are sort of low level guys. Yeah, so they're definitely more into their look than not, but later on you get to see some of the higher level guys that are sort of
Nice.
scary. But yeah, these guys are sort of whatever, but to a kid they're terrifying, right? You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, to a kid they're pretty scary. Yeah. I'm
Now,
sorry,
did
Jason.
you always plan on having the tent enclosure type thing, like with the tent sheets above, so it's kind of like a
No.
tunnel? No, because
No,
I
that's-
don't remember that in your sketches, and I love
No.
I love that touch.
I do. I like it. I like it because of because I also was thinking, God, there's so many tents. Just that I'm gonna. It seemed to. It's a great way to sort of. There's a lot of tents, but you don't have to do a lot of tents, right? So it's helpful. I didn't get to. So that the lighting hasn't come down. There'll be spot lighting coming in and everything
That's
else.
so
but
cool.
I mean, there's no details, but. Anyways, there you go. That's where I'm at. And I have I do have a website for this. It's under it was supposed to go live today. But it will be live very soon, but it's going to be the whole basis of where everything's going to be stuck, at. It's going to come to, and it's called thrownaway.art. I try to make it as simple as possible. So thrownaway.art, not live at this moment, but will be live within a couple days. Also, there'll be an Instagram account that'll be attached to that, because I'm still spending so much time developing, the visuals and everything else, and I'm just starting to get any type of refined drawings in. Everything I'm going to show is probably going to be sort of rough, but this is something that I'm very dedicated to, and I'm going to be seeing it through. So anyone who wants to come along, please do. I mean, I'll have on that website, I'll also have a newsletter where they can, if people want, they can put their email in, and I'll do updates with them through that.
Very good. And how many pages are you into it in the sketch form?
In the sketch form, like I said, I have the whole first chapter thumbnailed, and out of that, I mean, the last 15 pages or spreads, again, I'm doing this backwards. I'm figuring it out as I'm going.
Yeah.
But those are still just rough thumbnails. Everything else, though, is at the point where I'm starting to I'm getting refined drawings are happening. So yeah, it's going. So there's a lot more past this, but this is.
I know you were cranking through the pages, and there was a lot of detail in a lot of them. So for everybody watching this is the first time you've seen it, there's a lot more, and she goes crazy with detail. So, and I love it. Especially those wide shots of the cities, and it's pretty impressive.
It's a great mood to them.
So just so there's clarification here, the link seems to be inactive because it's not up and running just yet.
It's actually not .com. Sorry, Jason. It's thrownaway.art. Art. So instead of the com, it's .art.
Let me delete my comments really quick.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I should.
It's you guys. It's not going to be live right now, and it's going to come across as an error. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I worked all weekend to get it ready, and then I did, and I put a redirect on it that went to my website, my personal website for my other stuff that I do, and for some reason when I tried to stop that, everything just shut down. So I have to figure out what's happening with that.
So this will be where this is correct, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so just bookmark. Maybe.
Oh, there it is.
Should we give you a time frame? on the September 9th. No.
No, it will be. No, it'll be up this week. Seriously, I had a lot of anger and a lot of tears earlier because I was like, I worked really hard to get it ready to go, and it looks
I have been
really
there.
nice. Yeah, and it looks really, really good. And I was like, great, I have a landing site for this because I knew this was happening, and obviously, and it didn't work out that way. So,
but you said that we'll be able to follow you on Instagram eventually, like.
Yeah, well, right now I have nothing. I've posted nothing. It's is thrownaway5.com. I know. I'm figuring it out. I know, John. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You got it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm really excited to read your comic. That's all.
I'm figuring it out. But I do have one spread I did with some color. If you wanted to share that.
Yeah. Let me.
That was my trial to try to figure out.
And I love these. I love these story. These early pages. The story. In the woods.
With the devils. Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
And this one's really, that's really cool.
Yeah, I love how it's a sharp shadow in the doorway, and then it bleeds out.
Yeah.
Oh, here's your color.
There we go.
Yeah, so this is going into the recycling center, which is after she leaves the encampment, which is what that is. She goes into the recycling center. And so this is that sort of what I'm imagining that would look like. Sort of, so very Mobius sort of colored sky, but then, and real heavy blacks. That's the other thing is I'm figuring out, like, I'm still figuring out my aesthetic, with this. And I definitely want this first chapter to be very, very like mass heavy with the blacks. And so like the spreads that I shared with you, I think I have to go back in and I have to figure out, like, with the, the blacks and the light with streaming in from the, the fabric hanging above. So there's still a lot that I'm figuring it out, but I want to have chapter 1 done by oh, thank you, Amos. I want to have chapter 1 completed by January 1st.
Okay.
Even if it's not
very painfully.
Yeah,
very
even if the colors, even if I don't have all the colors done, at least having the finish, because I really want to have that done so I can almost treat it like that was funny. I want to treat it sort of like a treatment in a way, so that I can share that and say, here you go. This is what the story, because chapter 2 is going to be completely different. That's when it's not going to be as dark. But it's going to be very heavy in the mystery and the world. And so then you're on the, you see, that's when the kids come into it, all this stuff. So yeah, it has a ways to go.
I love the color palette that you have going on right here because it's almost pastel. Again, not what I would have thought if you just handed me the inks and said color this, I wouldn't have chosen pastel colors, but it works so well because it contrasts so well with the blacks that you're using.
Yep. It's kind of a bright otherworldness against the darkness.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, and that's also the that gradient and the pastels is really that's colors that are associated with anything that has to do with the city, the inner city. So like when she's traveling in inner city, you'll have almost like all pastel gradient, bleached out almost coloring, so that each place has a very distinct feel to it.
Cool.
Cool.
That's what I'm really trying to work for. Yeah. We'll see.
Yes. I love your lighting in all of these. Your lighting is just amazing.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you. It's so funny because in Jason's class on our last one, where you were, we had to do color. I don't know if you remember that. I did a terrible job with color. I did terrible. And Jason was so gracious, and he like, oh, let's play with this. Oh, you did that. You know, be nice the way Jason is. You are incredibly kind and generous person. You were being so good instead of just saying, this is crap. This is just bad. We need to like. So I actually ended up taking another CGMA class that was for light. With someone you might know, Chris Brock.
Really? Oh, he's a master.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah. I was probably in over my head, but it helped me like focus on how to like look at this a little bit. So because I was just like, this isn't gonna work. I need to learn about this. So
yeah, he's wow. There's artists that I met at DreamWorks where it's like they do color and you just cannot figure out how they do it, and they just do it naturally, and so to be able to take a class from someone like that it's really good. So that's great.
Yeah.
And I really like how you could see the guy's shadow on that opposite wall too. It's a nice detail.
Oh, okay. So Tarobato is this based on the Kowloon wall city? I don't think I know do I know does anyone know Kowloon? Yeah,
I think I've seen a book about it, and it's just very dense buildings and wires, and if it's what I'm thinking.
Is this something I need to check out? Oh,
I would look it up because it's very gritty and inspiring if you're inspired by gritty.
I like gritty.
Harsh living conditions.
Is this a real place, or is this like a?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Thank you so much for bringing that up. That's great. That gives me a thing to look up.
Yeah, someone brought a book of it into DreamWorks and was referencing it, and it's just there's a really good book that just has tons of pictures, really nice pictures of it. I mean, horrible pictures.
No, this is great. Arto Roboto. Thank you so much. But actually, there might be some of that to this. But actually, what like this panel and going into, thank you, going into the recycling center. I was really inspired by the trenches of, in World War I, when you see all those pictures of the trenches and everything how they built it all up and how there were houses and window boxes with flowers in some of these trenches. So that's what this was sort of, and that this one panel especially was inspired by, but I'm definitely going to check that out. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Gwendolyn, for sharing this. Yeah. And please, everyone, bookmark her web pages and check out her Instagram. What was your Instagram again?
I think I don't know yet. I don't have it linked. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. And then at some point I'm thinking about once I have this first chapter done, because I do love the webtoons format so much. I really do. I love the scrolling format, so cinematic. I might actually think about putting some of this in like that, doing small weeklies, especially because I'll have it and I could just do that just to see if but I mean, I've done that before and it was a terrible story because I'd never done this before. I'm all new to this. I'm learning.
You're doing great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great. This is a great start. And I know you have a lot more too that you're not showing, so.
Yeah.
Also, Green Laser suggests that for their username, you say "Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto."
Yeah.
Arto Roboto.
Domo arigato. I know. I can't do that without singing the song.
Exactly. It helps.
It does.
All right, Sarah, can I jump to yours since we're on my screen?
Yes, you can.
All right.
Go.
Go, Sarah, go.
Get these in order.
Way to go, Sarah. Oh, nice.
Look at that texture. Look at that line. All right, Sarah, the mic is yours.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I'll just kind of scroll through these pages randomly if you don't mind.
No, that's okay. Oh yeah, no, I have to talk.
It's okay.
So this is my comic, and right, I'm just going to start with my log line.
What's the title? What's the title?
Yeah, okay. At the moment, I have a working title of Core Alt Mors, which is a really bad title, I think. So it's going to have to be changed. It's actually Latin for heart or death, which I thought sounded too dramatic to just call a comic Heart or Death. So I thought, because it's kind of set way back when, in kind of an alternate reality medieval time, so I thought Latin would probably be quite prevalent. So that's how it ended up being Core Alt Mors. And my log line is: a woebegone prince gets cursed and then, in an attempt to break the spell, imprisoned by his parents, who have started kidnapping eligible suitors to force love and marriage upon him. Can he find his own real love and stand up to his parents, or will the curse consume them all?
Ooh.
Dun,
He's such a surly little boy.
It is.
I love how dramatically you read that. It was perfect.
That was good. That was good.
So I really kind of just wanted to write a fairy tale, and then I thought, what kind of fairy tales and stuff? It just might be me. It might be my age, but I'm like, oh, you know, I just felt like there was a lack of kind of like fairy tale things going on, and I'm really, really unashamedly into teen romance. It's going to be a YA teen love affair, lots of angst, and all of that good stuff that I really enjoy. It's going to be LGBT plus friendly as well.
Yes.
So anyone can get on board with it is my hope.
Yeah, I love how you're doing the lighting on these panels, how it's glowing. So good.
Yeah, I love that.
Your design is so beautiful too.
Bloom. Yeah.
I would like to have said that I've made more progress on it. I've thumbnailed out the next 14 pages, so I've got another 8 spreads that are kind of like ready to go, but I changed settings, so I then had to start designing more characters and designing more environments, and that kind of took so much longer than what I ever anticipated. But good news is I'm one turnaround away from being able to start the next batch.
Very cool.
Oh, I love the black in that last panel. Sorry.
Yeah, I really like how it it goes
like
straight
the gradient,
and then
that's really nice.
Yeah, this is really good stuff. I was so curious when I saw your turnarounds how you were going to actually have a comic with different camera angles, because people watching online don't know what your turnarounds are, but they looked like really flat but well designed, and so it's neat to see the characters actually. You can really feel the depth of them now.
Yeah.
You can like really.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. Like you can really like go straight to animation with these designs. Like
you can,
it looks so like the silhouettes are so clear.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted to play with like shape, so I wanted everyone to have like a proper shape that represented them.
Well, I love the light that you have, especially that top right panel.
Yeah.
That's the way the silhouette, the bloom.
Yeah. It's so funny because we've had a lot of conversation about doing those darn turnarounds, right?
Yeah, like me over the past couple of months is, I just need to do another turnaround. How many turnarounds do I have to do?
I know, you guys are just, it's all about the turnarounds. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
The assignment that never ends.
Yeah, but
Hannah, how are you going to do your turnaround of your deer elephant thing?
Don't ask me that question right now, man.
Another live stream to see
I'm only just now coming down from shaking, and you're gonna ask me that, John? Why?
Pimp another
but
offer.
The answer to that question is very carefully.
That's funny to hear the obsession with turnarounds after the fact. I had no idea this was going
Oh,
on.
it's been intense. It's been intense. I swear, I think that's like talked about every single time. Something about it.
Yeah, but like honestly, like as much as we hate them, they're such a good tool to have in our back pocket. Like it's so helpful.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have got this far if I didn't actually have the environment designs and then the turnarounds and yeah.
You know, that teacher that we had actually seemed to know something, right?
Now, if I could just follow my own advice, that would be.
Can I just say thank you to everyone that's saying things in the comments? Thank you. Everyone likes the bowl cut as well.
I really relate with this character. I used to have a bowl cut, glasses, and like braces all at the same time. It was not a good. It was not a good year for me.
Maybe I can bring the bowl cut back.
But Sarah, I know you're updating some of the background details because you made some, design choices about that. They look really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the backgrounds look phenomenal.
Yeah,
I've got kind of like I've made a stock collection of textures because for some reason I just decided that all the patterning should be like hyper detailed. I don't know why, but in my head I was like, if I make a texture, I can just like pick it up and slap it on, and I'm not drawing it every time. So then everything became super textured.
Smart. That's smart.
That's great, though. Yeah, that's cool. Well, so what's your plan with this? How long are you thinking you're going to work on this? And how can people? Okay, here's the big question: can people go to your Instagram and follow your stuff?
They can. I probably won't post very often, but everyone's very welcome to.
I remember in class, you're like, I made all this stuff and I don't want anyone to see it. I'm like,
you got
show your work.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah.
Yeah.
Give.
Sarah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
You won't even show us your face.
I wanted to see the plant. I was for the plant. You know?
We had this whole conversation about what I would put, and then I was like, no, I've got my Instagram logo as my logo, and everyone was like, pot plant. I wish I had a great pot plant. I really do. So to find me, my Instagram is just Sarah Ricketts _comics on Instagram, and my website is just sarah-ricketts.com.
Oh, I see it right here in the private chat. Copy over.
In terms of when I'm going to start posting stuff, I wanted to get 52 pages done by the end of the year. I feel that may have been slightly ambitious. So, yeah.
Well, how many have you done so far? Like, you've done quite a few.
Ones. Just
You've got 15 more weeks, Sarah. 5 weeks.
Don't say things like that.
I was like, wow, put the pressure on. No, but you have what? You have 25 pages, right? Am I remembering?
Not finished. 25 if you include these and the next set that I have sketched out. And hopefully once I finish this last turnaround, I'll be able to do the rest of them quite quickly. Hopefully, I say that's the plan. So yeah, 52 pages. So that's a year's worth of buffer that I've got to play with.
Okay.
In my
There
head.
should be an Eisner's for
safety
most
blanket.
turnarounds.
Sorry, Susan?
There should be an Eisner's for most turnarounds.
Okay.
Well, it's also it's also all of her landscapes too. I mean, my gosh, all of the details and the textures. I mean,
and the props. So many props.
Everything. I mean, it takes. It
like,
takes
do you really need to draw that loot? Does that loot need to be there? No, it doesn't. But like, you put it there, and it creates like just a good environment. Like it grounds us, in your world.
Right.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for sharing your stuff. If there's anything else you want to, anyone else wants to say to Sarah or ask, We can
Post on Instagram.
Who all
Give us
agree
the nice
Sarah needs to
names.
post on Instagram? Everyone?
Yep. Yeah. Post.
Yep,
Do it.
We
do it,
required
do
the
it.
nice things from the
You made
Sarah.
a whole comic and didn't post it anywhere.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Give us the
You did multiple comics.
Yeah.
You're the
No, no,
artist.
no. They're actually on my website. I've got evidence of the other comics that I've done on my website, just
the
not on
Ladybug?
Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
I haven't-
evidence.
What? Yeah. What's evidence? Is that like a page?
No, more than a page. Yeah, my miraculous Ladybug fan comic, one entire one, is on my website.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't
Very
even
good.
post your website. Let me get that up.
Yeah,
Right here. There's her website. Everyone go to the website, subscribe to Sarah's Instagram. Give her some love.
ta-da.
Yay.
Yay.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
Hey.
It looks so good.
Thank you, Jason.
Well done, Sarah.
Yeah. All right. Who do we got left? We got Susan.
And then there was
That's it?
one.
That's it. We just got Susan. All right. The mic is yours, Susan.
Okay, I think if Jason, you can do full screen on that, then you'll get rid of the thumbnails, but otherwise it's okay. So my name is Susan.
You know, I think you'll have to do it on your end
Okay,
because the thumbnails are part of the video. There you go.
awesome. Okay, so my name is Susan Marks, and I am, my comic is about Maisie, who's a 7-year-old girl, and she's in trouble again. She is just withering on and dying of boredom. So she's getting into trouble at school. And there's a strange lady that's going to show up at her house, and they're going to have a very interesting relationship and go on all sorts of adventures. And so I think of my story as being a much smaller story than most of my colleagues from my class. And I've not been nurturing this story for, I think, as long as some of the others of you have. I really wanted to take the class, and I wanted to take it with Jason teaching it. So it was like, holy moly, I better get a story together. I had never done anything with comics until April of last year. So this is about, 16, 17 months in of my comic journey. And so I'm really, really tickled with it. You can just page through there, Jason, as you want.
I don't have control over your screen, so I had their files, and that's why I could page through them. But you'll have to page through yours.
So here she's in trouble at school, and that's her mother up in the upper right corner. And I'm producing this in what I call episodes, and then there'll be like 7 or 8 episodes in a season. So I think of it like almost like a television series. And so this was the end of the first episode. And then in the next one, she goes to visit her therapist.
Oh, I haven't seen any of these yet.
Yeah. So we had to write a plan at the end of Jason's class for where we thought we would be by September at our great reunion. And I had set a goal to have my 2nd chapter done, which I did.
Hey.
And I had a stretch goal of having my 3rd chapter done, but that just didn't work. So my sort of you can take it back, Jason.
We'll just leave it on your screen while you're talking.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll go back to
Still.
go back to one screen here and just go back. One of the thoughts I had is I don't have big publishing plans for this, but I'm a big fan of the little found libraries. So I've been thinking about producing each of these episodes in sort of like a little small zine and taking them and putting them around into the small found libraries around. I live in the Sacramento area. And then something in the back for people to be able to like
cool.
who read it. And then like, putting it in a different library, and then they could email me, and if, almost like an old pen pal club from but I think that they're it's going to get into a little bit dark family dynamics, but I don't think too dark for for kids to read, but also of interest for adults to read as well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the work and pleased with the process, and so grateful that Jason really did give us kind of a step-by-step methodical way to work our way through a graphic story and actually, as they'd say, do the thing.
Well, I love the way the final product is looking, all the different textures and you know, things you have on the different layers. It really ties it together so well. So I'm really pleased with how you've pulled this off. And I love the little library idea. Is there like a website where you can find the little libraries in front of people's houses?
There is. And actually, I'm in a
great idea
group, and there was a woman there who actually wrote an article about them. So there's like at least a national, you know, an American, I don't know if it's international collection of sites, and you can put your little pin on a map. And then, I mean, there must be like 80 little found libraries in Greater Sacramento.
Wow.
So cool.
That's
if
neat.
you sent some to me, Susan, I could like put them all throughout.
I know. Wouldn't that be fun to just
because there's tons. They're all in my like. There's tons of them throughout throughout my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have one just down the street here that at one of the houses. That's awesome.
Okay.
Well, this turned out great. You should be very proud of this from not having any comic idea or desire to make comics, and then all of a sudden you're making comics, and it's at this level.
Yeah.
It's really encouraging. So.
And she's blazing ahead as well.
You know, I bought in, I guess, to Jason some of the things you've said, and that Jake Parker has said also is do it, right? I mean, do a project, finish the project. In the creating and the finishing of the project, you will learn the whole thing. And, you know, part of me is like, oh, why don't I stop and go take more drawing classes? And I was like, no, I'd rather learn by doing and do the thing.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I've loved seeing about different webcomics that I followed over the years is sometimes their first chapters will be like, you can tell that they're still figuring it out and they're not quite sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, a couple years later, as you've been continuing to read their comic, you forget what it looked like at the beginning because it's just become something so much more than it was. Like I can think of several comics that I read as a kid that like the artwork and the storytelling and the coloring and everything just improved over time because it really is like an excellent way to practice the craft is by doing the craft. So
And I feel like especially with this type of art form, I mean, like Jason, your class was amazing to be able to like figure out what's your workflow, how, like to really consider these things and how you're going to approach your work. But then you really gave step-by-step ways to go about it, because the only way to do this type of craft is by doing it. There's so many elements to it. There's so many plates that you have to spin to make it happen. And I feel like each one of us is doing it so differently, and we approach it so differently, even though we have to hit the same marks, that the only way that we can, that you can do that is by figuring it out for yourself, what works best.
Yeah, I think that there's similarities in the way that we approach it, but there's really dissimilarities. And so a handful of us have been getting together every couple of weeks just to kind of keep each other inspired. And we, bounce ideas back and forth. And I know Jason has talked about having a small group of people that you are really able to do that. And it's been really, really helpful to just keep me inspired and keep me on track. And the other thing, I guess, is the comic art form. It just has so many different steps. It uses so many different parts of my brain that it just keeps it really, really interesting for me. Whereas other things, we're just a little bit more unichannel or unilaterally, what do I want to say? Just like one layer kind of thing to do. This is just so many multi-layers.
Yeah, there's a lot of hats to wear in comic making.
Yeah.
Yes, there are.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, if you guys are watching, I put in the links, Susan's webpage. So it's probably hard to remember that.
Did you put links in the description so people can just click on things too?
I'll have to do that after we're done. Yeah, good idea.
It's the buy a domain name redirect Gwendolyn. I'd have to say your story today gives me even more pause about doing that, but it's my.
Oh no, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. No, that's just because I bit way like normal. I bit more off more than I should have right off the top. And instead of just getting a word, instead of getting a WordPress site, I decided to do Weebly, which means I had to, like I'm doing all this stuff, and it's my own deal. I'll figure it out. But really, you guys, anyone who's out there who wants to follow, it's going live. It's bought. I have to make it work. I have to.
Yeah.
There's no going back. So yeah. No, it shouldn't cause you to pause, Susan, at all. It was actually pretty. It's not that difficult. I just did something. I just clicked one too many times. I'm every tech person's nightmare.
When we said,
You clicked one too many times.
I just kept on boom, boom, boom.
End of January, right? The class started the end of January, which was, before the whole world, went all up and down. And I know, I think Jon talked about, I think it was related to the whole situation. You lost your job, and Hannah talked about, giving her month up to the big, ugly virus. And I think about that just haven't been able to focus and really do many things, for the last 6 months. And look what we've done.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Holy moly, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Art Renaissance.
Yeah.
Well, I'm impressed. I'm proud of you guys all for just even being here 6 months later, because I think the first time I had the class, half the people showed up, and then they just started trickling away by the end of the class. I think I was just given too much, it's people, I think, come into it thinking it's well, here's the answer to all the questions, and I can just push the button too many times. And you got to do the hard work, and people I don't think they want to embrace the hard work doing those turnarounds. So anyway, I think it's great. Everything you guys are doing, it's encouraging to me to see people following through, because I've been so frustrated giving people advice over the years, especially in person, because I'll give advice and then they'll go away, come back a month later, and I'll be like, so did you practice drawing? Or just simple things.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I was just too busy. And I'm like, give me my stuff back. You wanted to have lunch with me to, learn how to draw, and then I'd give you pointers and give you some of my art to reference and whatever, get some of my books, and then you just go, I don't have time. Shut up. You have so much time. You're just wasting it.
Ooh.
So anyway.
This is tough talk with Jason.
Yeah.
So
cognitive drawing, like doing the daily cognitive drawing. It's like so simple. It's like it doesn't take 10 minutes of your time. So
Let me just do some housekeeping with that real quick. So I do have this. For those of you who actually want to sit down and do the work, if you want to push on. If you just want to click the button on the computer and it makes a comic for you, this isn't for you. Sorry.
That was really smooth.
So this is my attempt to try to give people the tools to just get into that mindset of daily practice and how to see things and try to practice them in a way to really help your drawing. And it's 160 pages. It goes through the whole male figure. And I've used it. Here's kind of some samples of the pages. And it's just, I don't know, it's 90 days of lessons. And so if anyone out there really wants to just try to take their anatomy to another level and really be able to practice with a certain amount of focus to I really think if you go through this, you'll get a lot better, and you'll memorize anatomy. And this is kind of the way I approached learning to draw on my own in the middle of nowhere when I was growing up in my teens. And it really is just putting in the work. And this is a good way to do that, and it gives you all the reference material you need, so you don't got to dig through anatomy books to find it. It's just all just goes through the whole body in one swoop. And if you spend half an hour a day on this, after the end of a month, or a couple months, you'll be, I think, sitting in a lot better place artistically. So I'm working on the female book now. Hopefully early next year, we'll have a female book, and then one for more angled for younger audiences, like 8 or younger. But anyway, yeah.
Jason, are you going to have one for children? Because I know I really need that, because me and my homunculus children really need some help.
Homunculus children.
Don't you guys remember my homunculus, first child I did? How it it was a crazy looking creature.
Oh, I see. Not for kids to use, but actually to draw kids.
To draw them. Because you.
I would like to expand it so that it covers kind of everything, and it would mean I need to get other artists involved, like for things that I'm not as good at, like animals and probably even kids. So yeah, the goal is to just keep expanding it and keep it going. And I think it's great. It's great for homeschoolers. We've had luck with homeschooling groups. Really do really well with it. And I also recorded a video for every lesson, so I actually go through the lesson with people. So there's that part of it.
Yeah. So Jason, did you do this? Just how long? When were you working on this? When we were doing the class?
Yeah, on and off. I started this probably about 5 years ago when I first moved here back to Idaho, and I first tested it with a little local group just to see if this method that I've coined cognitive drawing, if this method works for other people. And it really blew my mind and everyone's mind in the class how well it worked for non-artists and old people and young people, and so it kind of inspired me to try to make a book out of it. And so the first thing I tried to figure out how to do was do anatomy with it, because I figured that's kind of one of the things that everyone struggles with. So in teaching this technique, I might as well teach anatomy too. And so I started working on it, had a bunch of beta testers that tried out this really dumbed down version of it that I put online. I had 100 beta testers, and they gave me all their feedback, and they did the whole process, and they gave me a bunch of notes. And then this is the remade version of that, and it has has little comics in it. It has more tutorials. It has, like you guys were saying, more candy to go along with the hard work. I think it's a really good system. I have a copy of it somewhere here. Anyway, yeah, let me just go find it real quick. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, that's really cool.
Hey guys, what's up?
Welcome to my stream.
Yeah. Well, today we're going to be playing Untitled Goose Game.
Yes.
There we go.
Bingo.
So here you go. So this is what the book looks like.
Wow.
It's just full of lessons for every day. It has a daily lesson.
Cool. And you have spots to actually draw in, to actually do your... Oh, that's great. It's actual work.
So the basic idea of cognitive drawing is you start off, you look at your picture, but then you immediately cover it up and you try to draw it first from memory. And then you uncover it and you draw it second from reference. And then you cover it up again and draw it from memory. And then you uncover it and draw it from reference. And so that's the technique. That's how I learned to draw, and that's how I learned different styles. And anyway, so I've never seen anyone teach it or make a book about it, so that's why I made it. And and we used it at the charter school here, and the teacher loved it. So I think it's a potentially. Whoa! Is that only me or you?
Oh
no, we
yeah.
So anyway, that is
cognitive chat.
Yeah. So you can find cognitive drawing at cognitivedrawing.com. It just forwards you to the Shopify shop here, and I'll send them directly out to you right now.
Okay, so this is that your site, or is that like a separate?
Yeah, well, I own cognitivedrawing.com, and so I just forwarded it to this Shopify website. So you can. It's just a shopping cart, so you add it to your cart and whatever. And if you order multiple copies, you get big discounts. So.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then,
Thank you.
And then the other housekeeping thing is I got Phobos going on Indiegogo right now. So
I'm excited about that one.
Oh wow!
So exciting! About another big story.
Yeah, 300 pages. So I'm.
Holy cow! That drill though.
Oh, I love how you're doing it. That sort of old time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all based on the 1940s horror.
Yeah, the horror. Yeah, that's great.
And once we hit 30,000 cover, so oops, I didn't mean to start that. So glow in the dark, I can't wait. I hope we get there. So anyway, that's happening. Yeah.
Ardo Roboto is asking for the Indiegogo link.
Indiegogo link. Let me put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Also, Ardo, you're hitting like every single nerd thing. Congratulations.
All right, there's the Indiegogo.
Yes.
I don't know if it was Ardo, but somebody asked. No, I think it was Amos asked if you're going to teach the class again, Jason.
I'm not planning on it. My thought is if I were to do it again, I would want to do it outside of CGMA, which hopefully no one from CGMA is listening. But, I might have to give myself some time for the licenses to expire and stuff on those videos. Yeah. It's a couple of years out. But I think what I'd like to do is make a more inclusive type class, meaning it's not just focusing on the making of the comics, but it's also marketing. It's also, Indiegogos and Kickstarters, and I think there's a lot more to be included in a bigger package. And if I just sell it myself and have open up a list, once a year when I'm ready to teach it again, I think that'd be fun.
You'd have more control. I would have to say though that I guess my thought would be to break it up into sections of that. I think. There's a fair amount around about how to market things, and there's not a lot about just how to do the grunt work of making a comic.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
But it's funny though. I don't. I think that perhaps with the way that you approach it though, Jason, the actual figuring out how you're going to promote it, develop, the development, but promoting it and figuring out how you're going to fund it. Well, yes, I mean, because how you go about it would be, you have very clear understanding with Kickstarter and all that, but you're so you embrace everyone's vision, as unique as it is, and that you would be able to really, I think, help show how you can find your own path through that, because I think that's the hard thing. It's because so many of all of these you see all these things about this is how you can make this is how you can get funding, this is how you can make your money doing your self-publishing, but it's different for each one of us. I mean,
it really is.
And our paths are so unique that having someone who can help you these are the benchmarks that you need in order to get to the next level. Okay, let's figure out how you get there. You can get there however you need to get there, but this is what you need to get to. And I think that's something that you're really, that's how you teach. So I feel like that could be very helpful.
Consulting service, right? So I'm going in, so based on what I know and learning about your vision, what would be a path forward for your vision?
Get
out to the world.
I remember when I was taking the class, I kept asking Jason, okay, well, what about this? Well, what about that? And then Jason, you just kept saying just work one thing at a time, work on the comic, just finish the comic and then we'll talk. Just focus on the step that you're on.
You're looking at the next mountain. You got to climb this mountain first.
The
next mountain. It's true.
think
But
some
then
of
it's
those
just
little decisions are really key to where you end up going, but you kind of don't know where you're going to end up going. You know, like what format do you use? CMYK? Do you RGB? Are you going to screen? Are you going to vertically scroll it? Are you going to WebTube? You know, and it's challenging to like pick some of those and do it rather than like staying in the how am I going to figure out where even to start kind of thing. It's just it's a tricky balance.
Yeah.
No, I just feel like that. If you had a class like that, even if it was on your own, where it was like Zoom, like, okay, here's the link, here's Zoom, we're all gonna get together and we're gonna have our own little master class over how to like take the next steps. I know I would 100% want to be a part of that because, because I know for myself. I mean,
I would do the class again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like the next story I come up with when this one's finished, I'm doing this again.
Well, that's good to hear. It's encouraging that you guys say that because I mean it's a different world for me to do more high ticket type sales instead of just selling a little book, you know. It'd be something I would want to invest in, you know, like having these 6 month reunions and even like monthly video calls where everyone from past classes could keep joining, you know, just continually as long as they want to keep doing it. And that's important, I think.
I mean, you invested so much in the content for that class. It's just sad. And I mean, I know for you, do I spend a chunk of my time doing that, or do I spend a chunk of my time working on Phobos? Right?
Well,
I mean, it's the choice we all have to make.
And that's the thing about teaching, right? Is like when you're teaching in a class, that one-on-one, if you care, it saps all your energy. I mean, you're wiped out. And I mean, the amount of time you spent with each one of us going over things, everything else. I mean, it's very clear that takes a lot. So I understand when you're like, I'm not planning on doing it again. Until you had enough distance to where it, you know, that you've sucked up enough mana again that you're ready to go. You're ready for the next adventure.
Exactly.
I get that.
So it'll be a while. I am planning on saying no more to CGMA. That's the plan, you know, unless January rolls around and no, I can't just say yes, I'm going to do it last minute, I guess. But
you could fill that course. You put that out on your live stream. You fill that course in 20 minutes.
Well, this is where I struggle with thinking that people would there would be enough interest, but I could be wrong. So, but I do need to give it time, and I don't want to rip off CGMA too. I appreciate them giving me that opportunity. So it'll probably be a couple of years before I say, okay, here's the Jason Brubaker exclusive, you know.
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Until then, we lurk.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we lurk. Do you mind if I ask what with your contract? Is it 5 year? Is it a 5 year like?
It's like a 2-year thing where after I quit, I think I need to reread it, but I think after I quit, it's like 2 years needs to pass before I can use those exact same videos because I own the videos, but I'm licensing them to them, and so someone else could fill in and teach in my place with my videos, you know.
Which they have had someone do that, and oh my god, it was awful. Is my understanding.
On my class.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
I never heard about this. So
yeah, they had because I was gonna take it. Take it. Yeah, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy I didn't. Yeah. I'm so happy I didn't.
I signed up.
But again,
they didn't post a teacher, and they were going to look for a teacher, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to sign up for a very expensive class for God only knows who's going to teach
and
it.
Just who doesn't know the context, and who's also that's not what they necessarily do, but because they had credentials, I think that it's hard for them to fill those shoes. Like they need you. How's that? There's not a lot of yous out there. How's that yous? There's not a lot of yous out there. So I mean, I think that that was really, I think that they learned that, as my understanding.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard.
Well, yeah, it was a good learning experience, and I'm friends with Chris Oatley as well. I don't know if you know him, but he does his own classes. Yeah, and he, when I told him about working with CGMA, he's like, Jason, you could just do this yourself. And I'm like, but I don't have any experience with what's normal doing this. So in my opinion, it's like that gave me the experience to know what's required and how to put together a class and what's normal. And so I think going forward, I could definitely do it, and I would want to do it on my own somehow. And in between books, like I do a graphic novel and then I teach a class, do a graphic novel, because after I'm done with the graphic novel, it's like I've pulled that ship back into port and I want to take a break. I don't want to go back out on the next quest right yet. So,
I feel that.
There would be good windows for me to be able to do it in things like Phobos, So, all right, guys. Well, thank you again, and I appreciate you
Thank you.
all you emailing me.
Yes.
I remember at the end of the class. At the end of the class, I was like, everyone email me at the same time on this date, and if you do, again, it was a test. Like, if you're actually going to follow through with making your book and email me, then woohoo, you guys all did it. So it's just so encouraging. So I love it. And I hope. Was that?
Can we get the band back together in another 6 months?
We could do that. When would that be?
Oh, the next time you're on one of your live streams, I'd be happy to fill up one of your hours.
Yeah, we'll just fill up a live stream with you guys, and you can be working on your stuff. How about that?
When is 6 months from now? Oh my gosh.
February.
Or March.
Like
Is that
March?
February, March? Well, I mean,
whoa, my calendar's flipping out.
So late February email bombardment for Jason.
Yeah. End of February.
2, 3, 4, 5. No, it would actually be if we take it at this point, like from today, that's the beginning of March.
Okay,
Nice.
Email
So it'd
me
be like-
in March.
Will do.
And no,
Cool beans.
even if it's not this, you guys can all jump on a live stream and it'll just be us.
cool.
And we'll all draw together or something.
Sounds
we'll do
good.
something different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
And
thank
everyone
you,
watching,
Jason.
thanks for watching, everyone.
Oh
Make
my
sure
gosh.
to check out the links. I will try to fill the below the video with the links. Hopefully I can get them all in there. And yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
Right. Bye.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.